Hello everyone and welcome back to Frontier Force. This is going to be another solo episode because somebody not naming any names lost their footage. Okay, I'll name names. It was me. Yeah. So I'm just going to do this as like a catch up. Although there is more stuff has happened since even Larry was last online. I've like tinkered around with the base, which I'm going to try and make myself stop doing because, as you can see, the base is like growing quite quickly and nobody's around to see it. I just keep getting carried away. Yeah, I've done a lot of tree farming, slime tree farming, planted a few more greatwood trees just for posterity. I think you guys have seen the to-do list wall before. I'm pretty sure you saw that in the first episode actually. Yeah. As you can see, there's been drastic changes in here. Ignore the glass, that's just chiseled. One of the things is there's a node underneath this, which is an XP drain, which is made by, it's just iron bars filling up a crafting table menu. And underneath that node, which I'll show you in a while, is an open block storage tank. And so it's actually draining the XP out of me, as you saw my XP bar going down, and now I've got no levels left. It's taken all the levels and put it into a fluid storage tank, which I can then take the levels out as I see fit. But by doing this, it means that I'm now no longer at risk of losing levels due to getting killed or whatever else. I've made myself some heavy iron armour, even I haven't actually got around to using it for anything yet. All that is you make iron armour and then you basically make iron armour again, but you make it around the pre-existing iron armour, so they like grade 1 level armour, if you like, becomes part of the crafting recipe. It's pretty cool. I mean, it slows you down to move around, but you do become one hell of a tank. And you can also make it out of diamond. And even though we've got quite a few diamonds, well, actually, yeah, we have got a hell of a lot of diamond. I suppose I could make a diamond suit as well. Maybe I could pawn off the iron suit to Larry. But yeah, the reason why we've got so many resources is because, as you'll remember from a previous episode, I had a quarry, and I've been logging on and on and on and on, checking up on and resetting up and whatever else the quarry in question, and that's why, I mean, I've also been quarrying out at sea, which is why this was one of my initial setups, which you'll remember, I think this was the first place I set up, and down there was a, as you can see down there's a chest in a minecart, which for some reason didn't get picked up by the quarry, so I went down there and gathered it myself. This, however, was the process of setting up the quarry a lot, and so you end up with a massive gate. We don't want to do this kind of thing on the surface because it's going to look hideous. But I've also quarried out at sea, which will probably become my preferred method because that way you get obsidian because the sea water turns to lava, blah 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 blah. So yeah, there's been some changes made to the base, like size-wise. Nothing's actually been put up there yet. That's just another floor and some fancy-looking walls and stuff. A lot of wood went into the carpenter's blocks, which makes the wedge slopes and stuff. I think that's everything to do with me. I mean, in the missing footage, Larry's got himself his sprinklers and that all hooked up. He's got himself his little plantations working out quite nicely. Oh yeah, I've been fiddling around with the Tinker's Construct table. I've made a gift for Larry, which you'll find out in the next episode. And I think I've got myself a pickaxe laying around somewhere, but I can't remember where I put it. Oh, also made myself a sacrificial knife and a blood altar, just as a little bit of a hint towards what I might be edging towards soon. This beautiful device has now become somewhat redundant, although I still do store all our coal in here. We don't seem to have as much as we used to. What I have been bunging in here though is gravel, turning it into concrete. Now this is my probably extremely inefficient, but like Mark 1 processing system. This is just for storing ores and stuff, or at the moment spare iron. So you bung all your ingots into now this top piece, which ignore the pipe output to the bottom, it's just bugging out towards the electric cable underneath there. Oh yeah, I've also replaced the power cables with advanced power cables, which are made using, I think, enriched alloy, which we've now got plenty of. Enriched alloy plus the original cable. Yeah, so the ore output goes into this, which is a pulverizer, which is a pretty base machine to make. The pulverizer then crushes one ore into 2 dust, and sometimes sometimes it can also output like an uncommon dust as well. So I think out of like ferrous you can get shiny dust, which is how I ended up with these shiny ingots, which I think count as platinum. So yeah, anywho, pulverizer outputs into the induction smelter, which it goes into the green tab. The induction smelter then takes the dust and the sand, combines them together to make an ingot. So you end up with the 2 dust makes 2 ingots. So 1 ore to 2 dust. A dust plus 1 sand makes an ingot of something. So you ended up doubling your ores essentially. This output here makes a material called slag. Slag is how we've ended up with, in the storage area over the other side, we've got some material called rock wool. All these machines and stuff, I've just been kind of experimenting, which is why in one of these, yeah, raw carbon. No idea what that's used for or why I would want it, but there it is. Wood pulp, biofuel. I've just been like throwing random tat into these different machines to see if it would do anything. And the outputs I've just been throwing in that chest. So I've just been experimenting because I don't know what I'm doing. Anywho, back to this again. So yeah, so obviously you're going to need a lot of sand and a consistent supply of sand. Hang on a minute. So yeah, so what this chest is full of is cobblestone. This cobblestone gets piped up into this top pulverizer, which is crushing it into sand, which is then outputting into the induction smelter below to make the ingots. So long as you can keep cobblestone in this one, you can keep sand going in, you can just keep smelting forever. Over here, mechanism is what when I go into more of an automated system, mechanism will probably be my method of choice. Although some bits and pieces do have to be made by other means, but this way you can set up like factory blocks and stuff like that, which they're more efficient. But at the moment I'm quite happy with this for smelting our stuff, and if we need to make anything using any of it, or crush anything, or we've got another smelter there for some reason. This sag mill also is quite useful. You can put blocks of wool in there and it will chop them up into string. Yep, there are a few other uses for it, but that's pretty much all I've been using it for. So yeah, this is our like ingot store. You can see like we've got like a barrel full of iron. We've got loads of yellorium for some reason. We've got quite a lot of gold, which is fantastic. Quite a lot of osmium, which is pretty good. Found a little bit more electrical steel in a chest. I still have no idea why I'd want it. I've been making steel as well by whacking manganese and iron into the Tinker's Construct smeltery, which is still my preferred method of making steel at the moment, although I'll discover something at some point. I've accidentally smelted even more coal into graphite, so yeah. Got lots of redstone. As you can see, we've got pretty much a barrel full, and then all these blocks. When you're using quarries, you will get an awful lot of blocks. I also make these leadstone energy cells. The leadstone energy cells are useful for powering my quarry, which rather than having to run cables everywhere, I take a couple of cables, I take my pipes, I make my setup, and then all I have to do is plug in those leadstone energy cells, and it runs it for a while. And then I've just been it's not the most efficient, but I'm trying to restrict myself on how advanced I get to quickly. Which I know it's not really speaking a lot of trash cans and whatever I showed you before. I've bunged the metallurgy confuser around here, which is you know how that works. So before I take you upstairs or down, actually yeah, downstairs would be more interesting. As the world loads in, this is just a block store now. So we've got cobblestone, a type of limestone, another type of limestone. The marble that we've got, abyssal stone was what I pulled out of the quarry over the ocean. There's quite a lot of it down there apparently. Might find a use for it. Sand, which this sand is pretty much just for glass. Sandstone, more sand. There's the rock wool. Yeah, there's the rock wool. So by default, cooking the slag turns it into light grey rock wool. I think you can stain it like you can normal wool. Got plenty of concrete. Got 2 barrels full of, well, no, not full, but a barrel and a bit full of obsidian. Got some clear glass, which is made by putting sand into the smeltery. And then we've got some clay blocks as well, that are obviously out of the ocean clay, not really a hard thing to come by. So over here, we've just got like, I've been bunging like bees and associated products and shit. Arse magic. Everything's just over here just so that you can come over here, and if you're looking for a specific component you can find it. Nothing particularly interesting. All just parts and bits. So this is a elevator which is made by a ender pearl surrounded by wool. And it's how you, by jumping up, you go up here, which, as you can see, this is the under construction area. And then down here I've replaced a lot of the floor with concrete, which did actually cause a problem for a short while. These are the tanks that I was telling you about, and these are drums. The drums they're just iron predominantly. They're nothing spectacular. And then I've just been using a fluid node, which is what's underneath, what's up there, the blue cornered thing up there. I'm using a fluid node it'll just pump the lava out of these drums into these, or the oil in that drum into that tank, or this is spring water from somewhere. There's a little bit of water, although that needs to be filled. And I melted down a bunch of redstone for some reason. I've left my node up there so I know where it is. And then I found some poison, which, yeah, keep that up there out the way. As you can see, we've got a lot of spare lava, and all you do is like you come up here with even though there's like no access hatch or anything, just with a bucket you right click and you would take out a bucket's worth out of the tank. It tells you how, like, each one of these blocks itself holds 16,000 millibuckets. So there's quite a lot of lava in there, and then each one of these drums holds a ridiculous. The drums are the more efficient way of storing it all, because obviously 16,000, 256,000 in one block. That's the difference between. I just like the visual of it. So there we go. Spare drums. So Tinker's. I've shown you the redstone clocks, I believe. Oh yeah, here was what I made myself. So yeah, I made a tool for Larry to be using with his farming. I've also made myself a lumber axe. I've given it some abilities, which is reinforced 3, auto repair, and haste. When I might explain how all the mods and stuff go together for your different tools and weapons, but for the time being, yeah. So reinforced, it's going to last a lot longer. Auto repair, obviously, that means it's going to repair itself over time, although it's only while you're carrying it. And then haste just means it chops stuff faster. So yeah, and it's raining again. Ugh. Oh, I've started replacing the floor in here as well. So I was hoping to come in here and see like the pigs bouncing around on slime blocks, but it doesn't seem to be working. They just seem to like sink into it down to their bellies and meh. Moved the magnum torch out into the open a bit, just because I wanted to get rid of the pillar in the middle because it was getting in the way. Cobblestone stores, these are all just full of cobblestone. And you can guess what's behind this wall by the noise they're bloody making. I went out with Golden Lasso and captured every different type of horse I could find, and we finally returned Stan back to captivity. So yeah, things are looking pretty good at the Frontier Force HQ. I think I've caught you guys up, and I've probably even given you guys some info that wasn't available in the last episode. So I will kill this now, and I will rejoin Larry and see you guys in the next episode.